सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। मैथिलीपते रघुनन्दना मैथिलीपते रघुनन्दना रामा राघवा राजीवलोचना रामा रामा राघवा राजीवलोचना रामा रामा राघवा राजीवलोचना रामा राघवा मैथिलीपते रघुनन्दना दीनावनाहे करुणामया दीनावनाहे करुणामया दीना कमलनयना कौसल्यातनया कमलनयना कौसल्यातनया कमल मैथिलीपते रघुनन्दना रामा राघवा राजीवलोचना रामा राघवा मैथिलीपते रघुनन्दना रघुनन्दना श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Atulita baladhamam hemashailaabhadeham danujavana krishanum jnaninam agraganyam sakala guna nidhanam vanaranamadhesham raghupati priya bhaktam bhatajatam namami. Raghupati priya bhaktam vatajatam namami. Humble prostrations to one and all present here. So yesterday we had seen Jambavan's words that Hanuman, you are born to serve the Lord. These words have a miraculous effect upon Hanumanji. He becomes huge, like a mountain of gold, full of confidence and strength. Bowing down to everyone, he takes a leap into the ocean. Flying high above the ocean. So how was Hanumanji's flying? What was the comparison? Like the arrow of the Lord. What kind of arrow? Infallible arrow. Amoghaban, which can never fail. Meaning Hanumanji was a perfect instrument in the hands of the Lord. So what was the first obstacle? Mainaka Parvat. So Mainaka mountain offers rest, comfort, luxury. Hanumanji said, as long as I have not completed Bhagavan's work, there is no rest for me. What was the second obstacle? Surasa. Who sent Surasa? Devatas. They wanted to test Hanumanji's buddhi and bala. So Surasa came in between with an open mouth. Hanumanji became bigger and bigger. She also kept on expanding her mouth, keeping it wide open. Hanumanji understood this is a total waste of time. Becomes small, enters into her mouth and comes out. So the point is, there are times when we have to lose the smaller battle in order to win the bigger battle. There are times when you have to drop the ego. In Bhagavatam also there are many instances where Bhagavan Sri Krishna runs away, not fighting the battle. I think it was Muchukunda or somebody. Don't remember. He runs away from there. Finally that Rakshasa was killed. So there are times when we have to stoop down in order to conquer. So Surasa also blesses Hanumanji. Then comes Simhika. So she had the ability to pull down any flying being by catching hold of the shadow. So Hanumanji tears her open and kills her. So these three obstacles, yesterday we had seen the spiritual meaning also. What is that? These are the obstacles faced by the seekers when they are doing spiritual sadhana. The first obstacle is at the body level, Mainaka. The second obstacle is at the sense organs level, and the third one is at the mind level, especially the ego. As you advances in spirituality, you are face to face with subtler and subtler obstacles. In the beginning, it is a grosser obstacle. As you advance, it is subtler and subtler obstacle. And the subtlest obstacle is the obstacle of the ego. Very difficult to even detect it. Fine, Hanumanji reaches the other shore. And he places himself in order to have a clear view of Lanka. And he finds that the city was beautifully planned. It was rich, prosperous to such an extent that even the compound walls were made of gold, studded with gems and jewels, etc. That city was beautifully planned. A highly materialistic culture he could see there. And the whole city was well protected by Chaturangini Sena. What is Chaturangini Sena? The fourfold entity should be there in that Sena. What are the fourfold entities? Number one, foot soldiers. Number two, horses. Number three, chariots. Number four, elephants. So these four together, that is called as Chaturangini Sena. And there is a particular number, and then that Sena will be called Akshauhini. I think some 1 lakh foot soldiers, some 60,000 elephants and all that. The measure is given. So in Mahabharata war, how many Akshauhinis were there? 18. 7 of Pandavas and 11 of Kauravas. So this Chaturangini Sena was protecting the whole city. So then Hanumanji felt this is not the right time to enter. So he was waiting for the night time to come. And when night time came, Hanumanji took the size of a mosquito and then entered, remembering the Lord. So whatever Hanumanji does, the first thing is he would remember the Lord and then do. The moment he entered, who stopped him? Lankini stopped him. She was the Adhisthana Devata, presiding deity of the whole Lanka. How dare you enter? Hanumanji gives a solid blow to her. She falls down unconscious. But then she was happy, because that was the indication of the end of Ravana. Brahmaji had told her, when such a thing happens, when a monkey overpowers you, that is an indication that Ravana's time has come to an end. So she was happy. She also blessed Hanumanji. And she said, Hanuman, remember the Lord. Then what will happen? All your obstacles will become an opportunity. They will become a blessing in disguise. This is what happens when a person performs his duties, responsibilities, faces challenges, holding on to God. Thus Hanumanji enters into Lanka. He searches everywhere, but he does not find Sita Mata. Again, this is another obstacle in front of Hanumanji. So remembering the Lord, at that time his attention falls upon one beautiful palace. And this palace was unique because it was like a temple. So whose palace it was? Vibhishana's palace. So again Hanumanji was doubtful whether these Rakshasas are playing a trick upon me or not. They can be Mayavi, they can do anything. But then at that time, it was almost Brahma Muhurta. Vibhishana chants the name of the Lord and gets up in the morning. Ram, Ram. So at that time, Hanumanji understands this is definitely a devotee of the Lord. Hanumanji himself goes, introduces himself. And then both of them sing the glory of Bhagavan, experience great bliss of devotion. Then Vibhishana says, Hanuman, do you know how I live here? I live like tongue amidst teeth. This is the way I live. But Hanumanji, when I look at myself, tamasatanu, extremely tamasic body, born in a Rakshasa Vamsha, no purity of mind at all, no devotion for God at all. This is what I find in myself. But at the same time, when I see what is happening to me, great devotees like you are coming and forcefully introducing yourself to me, that shows that Bhagavan's grace is upon me. But when I look at myself, I don't deserve any grace at all. What is happening? So then Hanumanji says, Oh Vibhishana, you must know the nature of the Lord. Bhagavan doesn't see who this person is, in which caste he is born, which creed he is, which nationality, religion, gender. He doesn't care all that. What he cares is only one. How much means, is this person turned to Bhagavan or not? Is this person remembering Bhagavan or? This is all what Bhagavan sees. So therefore our qualification has nothing to do. Bhagavan doesn't see our qualification. Look at me. You are at least a Rakshasa. I am a monkey. Absolutely unfit, fickle-minded, inauspicious. In fact, the monkeys are the food for Rakshasas. So therefore, compared to Rakshasas, monkeys are even inferior. So look at me. But that Bhagavan, how much grace he has showered upon me. And as Hanumanji remembered all those instances where he had been a recipient of Bhagavan's grace, his voice gets choked with emotion, eyes become filled with tears. And then he says, such a wonderful Bhagavan, great Bhagavan, a person who lives a life forgetting that Bhagavan, how can such a person ever be happy? There is no wonder that there is so much of suffering in this world. This suffering is all self-created because the root cause of this suffering is only one: forgetfulness of God. In this way, they spend time remembering the Lord in wonderful satsang. And then finally Hanumanji says, Vibhishana, I have come for a purpose. I have come in search of Sita Mata. Can you please guide me? Now, Vibhishana had all the information regarding where Sita Mata was. How did he get this information? His own daughter, Trijata, was in charge of, taking care of Sita Mata. So Trijata was the chief Rakshasi. So surrounding Sita Mata. So therefore Vibhishana had all information. So then Vibhishana guides Hanumanji. Go to Ashoka Vatika. There in such and such place you will find Sita Mata. So then Hanumanji bids farewell to Vibhishana and goes to Ashoka Vatika. There what happens? He goes there. Now remember, again Hanumanji takes that small form. The form of a monkey, size of a mosquito. Not form of a mosquito. Why should he take a form of a mosquito? He is not going there to drink blood. Anyway, so now Hanumanji takes that form. And now Hanumanji goes and hides behind a leaf. So he finds Sita Mata seated under Ashoka tree. He goes and hides behind a leaf. What kind of leaf? A tender leaf. Golden in color. And then he looks at Sita Mata There comes another being. Yes. And then what does he do? Dekhi manahi mahu kin pranama बैठे ही बीती जात निस जामा कृसतनु शीस जटा एक बेनी जपति हृदय रघुपति गुण श्रेणी. So Hanumanji, the moment he saw Sita Mata, what is the first thing he did? He prostrated mentally unto her. Man mein. Mentally he prostrated unto her because Hanumanji knew this is Sakshat Jagat Janani, Divine Mother. And what was her condition? So she was seated there under this tree. Krisatanu, she had become very, very thin. So now we have to remember, for almost 11 months, so after abduction, it's almost 11 months. Right? And in these 11 months, Sita Mata has not eaten anything. She has not slept. She is just sitting there. She has not taken bath, just sitting there. So naturally, what is her condition? Body has become very, very thin. Krisatanu. Sees jata ekbeni. The hairs had become matted. And there was this one braid. And what is she doing? How is she keeping herself alive? Japati hridaya raghupati gunasrini, constantly chanting the name of the Lord. This was how she was keeping herself alive. Nij pad nayana diye mana ram pad kamalali. So what was she doing there? So she was sitting there in front and she was constantly looking at her feet. So looking at her feet, she was remembering Bhagavan's lotus feet. And then constantly she was doing japa of the Lord. Was she peaceful or miserable? She was peaceful. Why she was peaceful? Because her mind was in the Lord. But those who saw her, they felt that she is miserable. That topic will come later anyway. There is a prayer of Kunti Mata. Vipadas santu nashashvat tatra tatra jagadguru Bhavato darshanam yatsya apunar bhava darshanam. O Lord, give us more and more suffering, calamity, difficulty, pain. Why? Because every time there is calamity, pain, the prayer comes from the depth of our hearts. And when prayer comes from the depth of our hearts, we clearly experience your presence in our heart. The prayer is not a mechanical prayer, it becomes a wholehearted, conscious, devoted prayer. So this is the prayer of Kunti Mata. When suffering comes, pain comes, our prayer also becomes very intense. So in this way, Sita Mata was completely peaceful actually because her mind was constantly focused upon Bhagavan. Because anywhere else if the mind goes, utter misery. Literally she was in hell. And this was the only thing which was keeping her alive. So when Hanumanji saw this, he became extremely miserable. Parama dukhi bha pavanasutta dekhi janaki di. Looking at the condition of Sita Mata, Hanumanji was extremely miserable and he was sitting there behind that leaf, not knowing what to do, how to break the ice, you see. Because one thing is for sure, she will not look anywhere else. And if she doesn't look anywhere else, how will I ever convey the message? She will not trust me, she will not look at me. Again, Hanumanji was in a fix. What to do now? See various situations where Hanumanji was totally helpless. Bhagavan, save me. Then something happens. What happens? It was at that time that Ravana comes into picture. He comes along with his queens. And who is the chief queen? Mandodari. Along with Mandodari and other queens, he comes to that place. So now, then he starts speaking to Sita Mata. Bahubhidi khalasi tahi samujhava samadana bhaya bhed dekhava. In various ways, Ravana tried to persuade Sita Mata. And what are the various ways he used? Sama, Dana, Bheda, Danda, all the 4 ways. Sama means what? Peaceful ways. Oh Sita, why are you struggling like this, suffering like this, torturing yourself? It is such an easy thing. You become mine and then you don't have to suffer. This is called as Sama, peaceful ways. Then comes Dana. Dana means what? Tempting offers. Oh Sita, if you even look at me, that is what is written. Ek bar bilok mama or. If you just even look at me, I will make all these queens, including Mandodari, your maid servant. They will sit and serve you. You will be the chief queen. So this is called as Dana. Then comes Bheda, creating confusion, creating division. That Rama, I am sure he must have forgotten you. The very fact that 11 months he has never come, I am sure he must have married and settled down somewhere. He's such a coward. If he's really courageous, he would have come. The very fact that he doesn't come shows that he's weak, he has no strength, etc. etc. What is the use of unnecessarily meditating upon him? This is called as a Bheda. And then the final one, Danda. If you don't do it, I will kill you, etc. So he tried all ways. Now, Sita Mata did not know what to do with this fellow. This was the only trouble in that, Ashoka Vatika. Because when she is doing japa of Bhagavan, this fellow will come. And then create obstacle in her meditation. So now what she should do? She should remain quiet or she should speak? She doesn't want to speak. But if she keeps quiet also, it's a problem. Maunam sammati lakshanam. There is a Sanskrit proverb. If you are silent, there is a possibility that that silence will be misunderstood. So therefore she had to speak. How to speak? She did not even want to look at him. So in those days, so the ladies never used to look at the face of some other man. So they would either speak behind some parda, some curtain, or they have this, gungat and all that. So now poor Sita Mata, she has nothing. So what does she do? She plucks a blade of grass. And then she speaks to this blade of grass, assuming that this blade of grass is this Ravana. Meaning, you have only this much of value in my life. So she plucked one blade of grass and then she speaks. Hey, Dachamukha, 10-headed monster. Is it ever possible? Now see the comparison. Is it ever possible that a lotus may blossom in the presence of a glowworm? Lotus always blossoms in the presence of sun. So when the sun rises, the lotus blossoms. When the sun sets, the lotus closes. Now, Sita Mata says, Hey Dashamukha, Is it ever possible that a lotus may blossom in the presence of a glowworm? You know what is glowworm? They call it jugunu. Huh? I don't know whether you can call it firefly. Firefly is the fly which falls into fire, right? When the fire is there. I don't know. It glows? Oh, you call it firefly? Okay, fine. So firefly. So at the back there is a little light. So especially in the night you see them glowing. Daytime you will never see. In the night you see. When extremely dark you see that little light. So now Sita Mata's comparison, you are a firefly or a glowworm. Is it ever possible that in that light lotus may blossom? So the point is, if Bhagavan is sun, that brilliant bright sun, you are nothing but a glowworm. This is the comparison. When Bhagavan was not there, you came like a thief and abducted me. Shameless fellow. Adhama, Nellach, Laj nahi toi. Don't you have shame? You thief. And when Sita Mata compared him with a glowworm, he became extremely angry. And then he took out a sword as though to kill her and charged towards her. It was at that time that Mandodari comes. Mandodari comes, stops him. Now this shows the glory of Mandodari. Just now what did Ravana say? If you won't look at me, I will make this Mandodari also your chief servant maid. But now Mandodari comes and stops. Oh Lord, please don't do that. So this shows the greatness of Mandodari, because any other lady in that place would have been happy, isn't it? Any wife cannot, cannot tolerate another lady competing with her to get her husband. No lady can tolerate it. So any other lady would have been happy. Yes, it's better she is killed, so that I will not have a competitor. But Mandodari interferes, stops. No, oh Lord, you are not supposed to do it. It's a great sin. She's a great Pativrata lady, a chaste woman. It's a Mahapapa. That is why you will find Mandodari's name among the 5 ladies whom they are called as Pratasmarani. You should remember them every day in the morning. Who are they? Tara, Mandodari, Ahalya, Draupadi and Sita Mata. 5. So then she comes and stops. And Ravana listens to her. That is also something great. What does it mean? Through her love, she had conquered her husband. So this is what every woman should try to do. You are here not to conquer with might. You are here, and the ladies are designed that way, to conquer with love. And our scriptures also say that no other sadhana is necessary for a woman. For man, so many sadhanas are given. Becoming sannyasi, renouncing the world, etc. For ladies, what is the only sadhana? Pati equal to Parameshwara. That's it. That Pati may be like a Ravana also, but don't worry. Even if he's a Ravana, serve him not because he has lot of virtues. No. Serve him as a worship of the Lord. Bhagavan, this is my worship unto you. I am serving not because this person is worship worthy. I am serving him because it is my spiritual sadhana. For my own purification, I am doing this. This way when you do, that lady need not take sannyas. She is equivalent to a great yogi who is doing tapas in the Himalayas. That's what our scriptures say. And there are so many such stories, where ladies, just by fulfilling their family duties, responsibilities, They have attained to great heights. But remember, not just by doing duty. What has to be added? Not just love. That will become attachment only. Doing duty as a worship of the Lord. This is very important. Then only it becomes karma yoga. Otherwise it is just karma only. As a worship of the Lord. Bhagavan, this is my worship unto you. I will take care of all of them. Without complaining, without grumbling, without questioning. If this way you can do, then you conquer Bhagavan through your service. So this is what is prescribed in all our scriptures. Okay, so Mandodari was such a lady, and when she said, "Oh Lord, no," immediately Ravana stopped. Anyway, then Ravana said, 1 month time I give you. So all these Rakshasis were there. And the description is not given here, but it's given in Valmiki Ramayana, how they looked like. Oh my God. Some had 3-4 eyes on the face. Some had 3-4 hands, 3-4 legs. Some had eyes on the stomach. Some had nothing on the face, only a blank slate. All kinds of Rakshasis were there. And all of them were flesh-eating ones. Perfect non-vegetarians. And they used to eat everything. Cow, goat, buffalo, human beings, everything. So these kinds of Rakshasis were there day and night around Sita Mata. Now you can imagine that condition. But Sita Mata survived only because her mind was constantly in the Lord. If the mind is in the Lord, even in hell, you are in heaven. So then Ravana called all these Rakshasis and said, 1 month time I will give you. If the Sita doesn't listen to me, I am going to kill her. Became very angry, shouted at all of them, and then he left. So then all these Rakshasis, they were scared. All of them went and started troubling Sita Mata. That was the time when Trijata calls all of them. Hey, all of you, come here. I have to tell you something. What is that? See, yesterday night I saw a dream. And what was the dream? In that dream, I saw that one monkey comes to Lanka and he burns the entire Lanka. And the monkey is sitting there and listening all this. I saw a dream, and I am sure within few days it is going to become a reality. I saw one monkey burning the entire Lanka, and our king Ravana, he was seated on a donkey, completely naked. All his 10 heads, not 10 heads, maybe 9 heads were cut. 1 head was remaining. All the 20 hands were cut, completely naked, sitting on a donkey, and he was seen moving southward. Dakshina Disha. South direction is considered to be the direction of death. So he was going, and Vibhishna becomes a king, and Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra comes along with his army, and then in a great procession takes Sita Mata back. This I saw it, and very soon this is going to become a reality. So therefore don't trouble her. So then all these Rakshasis fell at the feet of Sita Mata, sought forgiveness, and all of them went away. That is the greatest service they could do, going away from the scene. So now there was only this Trijata and Sita Mata there. It was getting dark. And then Sita Mata said, "Oh Amma, you are the only solace here in this place. I don't want to live. This pain of separation is so much that I am not able to bear it, tolerate it. So mother, will you please do one favor for me?" She said, "What is it?" "Please arrange a funeral pyre and set fire to it. I just want to burn away this body. I don't want to exist in this way. This is so miserable here." Then she said, No, don't do all that. Bhagavan will definitely come. He's all powerful. Few more days and you will be free from all miseries, etc., etc. She tried to console her, but Sita Mata was inconsolable. Finally, Trijata said, "Amma, no fire is available now." And then she left the place. So now what is left? Who are left now? Sita Mata alone, and Hanumanji sitting at the behind that leaf. Now here is one episode which you will not find in any other Ramayana. See, Valmiki Ramayana is little, a lot of sorrow is there in that. Whereas Tulsi Ramayana is very sweet, full of devotion. And then what happens? Now Sita Mata her mind is only thinking of one thing. And what is that? How to put an end to this life. Because the misery had become so intense. She did not want to live. It is said here that every second was like a kalpa for her. Every moment. Because when suffering becomes too much, you feel as though time is not even moving. So that was her condition. And now the mind was focused only on one thing. How to get fire. Because as far as the wood is concerned, it is available. One thing what is lacking is fire. So now her mind was filled with this thought, how to get some fire. So then she looks into this sky. And what does she find there? Stars. Now she is begging to these stars, oh stars, you have so much of fire. Why don't one of you just fall down and give me some fire? Then her attention goes to somebody little more close. Who is that? The moon, the bright, brilliant moon. Oh moon, you are so near. Why don't you at least, have some sympathy for me and give me some fire? Then her attention come to this Ashoka tree. This leaf. Which leaf? Where Hanumanji was there, sitting behind. So her attention goes to that leaf. What is the color of that leaf? Golden in color. Meaning like the color of the flame of fire. So now she is asking, oh Ashoka tree, your name is Ashoka. Ashoka means what? Shoka means sorrow. So the one who puts an end to sorrow is called Ashoka. So why don't you live befitting your name? You are Ashoka tree, so therefore please give me a little fire. That leaf, now she is addressing to that leaf. You have so much of fire with you. So now Sita Mata is saying only fire. Wherever there is a golden color, there is fire. Now this is also a psychology, because whatever you intensely crave and desire, you see only that everywhere. So there was this great philosopher who got lost in a forest. For 2-3 days he was there, miserable. No food, no water. And it was a jungle. So therefore he had climbed a tree just to save himself from these wild animals. So after 2-3 days, he was a poet also. So great poetry and all he had written. He was sitting on a branch, and that was his full moon day. Moon was shining brilliant on the sky. And you know what he saw there? He saw a chapati there. He had written such wonderful poetry on the moon, the beauty of the moon. But that time, he laughed at himself, because he's seeing a chapati floating there. The point is this: when the mind is possessed of craving for something, you start seeing only that everywhere. So therefore, Sita Mata was seeing only fire in the stars, in the moon, even in that leaf which appeared golden in color, of the nature of fire. And now she, literally begging for fire. Oh Ashoka tree, you have so much of fire with you. Why don't you give a little? So with the palms raised, asking for fire. And this was the time when Hanumanji was watching. Right time. It was literally as though Sita Mata was looking at him, because he was just behind that leaf. And at that time, what Hanumanji does, he drops that mudrika, Bhagwan's ring, the gold ring. And when Hanumanji drops it, now you can imagine, the ring is coming down, shining. So Sita Mata thought, this is fire. And immediately she grabbed it, thinking it is fire. She felt that it is cold to touch. So she opened, and what did she find there? She found Bhagwan's mudrika ring. Very clearly Bhagwan's name was written. First she felt very happy, but suddenly she became miserable. First joy and then sorrow. Why this sorrow? The sorrow came when she started analyzing, how did this ring come here? Is it that somebody defeated Bhagwan? That is not possible. Is it that somebody killed Bhagwan and took that ring away from Bhagwan? That is also not possible. Then how did this ring come? So she was, wondering what was happening, little anxious, worried. It was at that time that Hanumanji starts singing the glory of Bhagavan. The whole story of Bhagavan he started singing. And as Hanumanji sang those glories, with a heart filled with devotion, with love, in a sweet tone, all the sorrows of Sita Mata vanished. She started searching for who is this person who is singing. She did not find anyone. So she had to literally ask, who is this singing? Will you please come in front of me? All her sorrows vanished. She was cheerful now. And at that time, Hanumanji jumps down in front of her. The moment she sees Hanumanji, a monkey, immediately she turns her face, thinking that this is some Rakshasa in disguise. She just turned her face. And at that time Hanumanji said, oh mother, it was I only had dropped this ring. I am the Duta of Bhagavan Sri Ramchandraji. Please trust me. This is the token of identification which I have given you. So then Sita Mata asked, how is it possible that human beings can ever come in contact with monkeys? You are a monkey. Then Hanumanji told the entire story. Amma, do you remember when you were kidnapped? You looked down and you saw some monkeys sitting on a rock. Do you remember that? Yes. And seeing those monkeys, you took away all your ornaments and threw in that direction. Do you remember? Yes. Amma, that monkey was none other than my king Sugriva. He was seated along with some other ministers. So all those ornaments they took and they gave it to Bhagavan. Now at present, Bhagavan along with these monkeys, they are searching for you. As a part of that, I have come here. So the way Hanumanji was telling this, that concern, that love, the devotion for Bhagavan, so then Sita Mata understood that indeed Jana Manakrama Bachanayah Kripa Sindhu Kardas, by thought, word and deed, this monkey is a great devotee of Bhagavan. All the sorrows of Sita Mata vanished. And then Sita Mata said, Hari jana jani priti ati gaadhi sajal nayan pulakavali baadhi budat birah jaladhi hanumana bhaya hutat mokahu jala jana. Seeing Hanumanji filled with devotion for God and his love, his concern, Sita Mata's eyes became filled with tears. Hair stood on end. Her heart filled with love for Bhagavan. And then she said, Hanuman, I was literally drowning in an ocean of sorrow. It was at that time that you came like a huge ship. I was literally drowning in an ocean of sorrow, and that's the time. You have come at the right time. Like a ship, you have come and saved me. So those tears were the tears of gratitude. Hanuman, tell me, how is Bhagavan along with his younger brother? Are they fine? Bhagavan is an embodiment of compassion. His heart is so tender. How is it that he has become so rough, hard-hearted, stone-hearted? So many days have passed and, he has not even turned. That Lord who is giving so much of joy to everyone, how has he forgotten me? And suddenly Sita Mata enters into a state of depression. I think Bhagavan has forgotten me. And seeing this misery of Sita Mata, Hanumanji said, no, Amma, that is not true. In fact, let me tell you, how much love you have for Bhagavan, Bhagavan's love is twice as much towards you. To prove it, let me give this message which Bhagavan has sent. Now, Hanumanji is giving the message of Bhagavan. So now, this is Bhagavan Ramchandraji speaking through the message. Kahehu Ram biyog tav Sita, mokahu sakala bhaye biparita, navataru kisalaya manahu krasanu, kala nisasama nisisasi bhanu. O Sita, the moment you got separated from me, everything that was favorable became unfavorable for me. Everything that was joy-giving now is giving only sorrow to me. So now some examples are given. Navataru kisalaya manahu krasanu. These new tender leaves which look like golden color, they appear like flames of fire for me. Kala nisasama nisi. The night appears like the night of pralaya, deluge, dissolution, where everything is destroyed. Night is no more joy-giving night for me. It is only miserable nights, like the night of pralaya. Sasi Bhanu, even the moon. They say the rays of the moon, they are cooling. But for me, this moon has become like scorching rays of sun. Kubalaya Bipina Kuntavana Sarisa. The bed of lotus. Now it appears as though they are spears piercing me. Barid Tapata Telu Janabarisa. This rain, this shower, it's very cooling. But for me, it appears as though they are boiling oil which is being showered. Jehit rehe karat te pira. It is a very strange thing that those people whom we are attached to, they are the ones who give the maximum sorrow. This is a fact. Wherever there is intense attachment, you will find that the pain also is coming from there only. Uraga swasa sama tribida samira. This cool, gentle, soft breeze. Now for me, it is no more joy-giving breeze. It is like the hot breath coming out of poisonous serpents. Kahe hute kachu dukha ghati hoi. It is said that when you share sorrows, it decreases. When you share your sorrow with someone, it decreases. But my problem is, with whom can I share this sorrow? Tattva prema kar mam arutora, janat priya eku manumora. This, how much I love you, only one entity knows, and that is my own mind. So manu sada rahata to hi pahi, janu preeti rasu etana himahi. So thus, this mind is ever remembering you. I hope you understand how much I love you. And then what happened? When Sita Mata heard this message from the Lord, she was absorbed in devotion for God. She completely lost her body consciousness and remained in that state for some time, absorbed in love. Now here, there is a spiritual message also. What is a spiritual message? See, in Saguna Upasana, there is a relationship which we develop with God. There is a relationship. And all of us must have one relationship. Choice is up to you what kind of relationship you want. If you see all these great saints, they had one relationship. What was Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's relationship? I am a child, God is my mother, divine mother. What was Surdarji's relationship? I am the parent and Krishna is my child. That was a relationship. You see? And there is a beautiful story. I don't know whether I have shared this story with you. So once Surdasji and Tulsidasji, they were sitting and chatting. And suddenly someone came and said that, see, one wild elephant is running. Run away from here. Surdarji became very miserable. Tulsidaji was sitting there. He immediately became miserable and ran away from there. Hid behind some tree or something. After the elephant had gone, he came back. Tulsidaji said, what kind of devotee are you? You are anxious, worried, miserable. Don't you know that God will protect us? Then Surdaji says, see, as far as you are concerned, Rama is your master. So Rama will protect you. As far as I am concerned, Krishna is my child. I have to protect my child. You see? The whole point is the situation is the same. But what kind of relationship you have with God, accordingly will be your behavior. Isn't it? For Mirabai, Krishna was like her husband, beloved. So one relationship we must have with God. And more we should try to invest in that relationship. Try to always think in that relationship. For Arjuna, it was a Sakhya Bhava. Krishna is my friend. So all relationships are acceptable. In Christianity, they have this father-son relationship. But in Hinduism, we have all relationship. Any relationship is fine. The more and more you start investing in that relationship, thinking in terms of that relationship becomes stronger and stronger. And slowly you start taking, your personality starts transforming according to that relationship. As the intensity of devotion grows, as the depth of that relationship grows. It is said that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa once, he was meditating upon, Hanumanji. So literally he became like a monkey jumping from one branch to another. People were confused, what has happened to him? And it is said that his tail also started growing. You see? And it is true. Because the Sthula Sharira is coming out of Sukshma Sharira. If the mind strongly believes that I am this, the body has to reflect it. It is said that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when he started meditating upon the gopis, his breast started developing. And he had periods also, it is said. You can't believe it. It is a fact. Yeah, when your mind is thinking so strongly that I am a woman, then the body will behave accordingly. These are all something which can be explained only through spiritual terms. So what I am trying to say is this. We have to have that kind of relationship with God. And once this relationship becomes very intense, a time comes when whatever happens to the devotee, something happens to God also. because they become inseparable. It's something like a mother-child relationship. Have you observed? The moment tears well up in the eyes of the child, the heart of mother also melts. They happen simultaneously. Something happens here and something happens there also. So that is why if you see this, when Sita Mata had only one thought, to die, fire. At that time this ring comes, and then for time being that sorrow goes away. When the Jivatma or when the devotee is miserable, something happens to put an end to that misery. If you find this relationship with this earth and this rain, you will find this. Especially we find it, the place where I was coming from, Mangalore and all that. There are times when it becomes extremely hot, especially during the summer season. Temperature goes to very high level and suddenly you find a shower. When the heat becomes intense, there is a sudden shower. The same thing happens here also. When that pang of separation, when that misery, the sorrow becomes so intense, suddenly tears flow and the heart is lightened. So whatever is said is absolutely true. So this kind of intimate relationship we will have to develop with Bhagavan. So actually this is a story of Jivatma and Paramatma. It's not just the story of Rama and Sita or anything. Right, proceeding further. So then, few moments Sita Mata was absorbed in meditation upon the Lord. When she came down, regained her body consciousness, Hanumanji said, "Oh mother, there is nothing to worry. Very soon all these Rakshasas, they are going to become this, this. In the fire of Bhagavan's arrow, all these Rakshasas like moths, they will come, fall into this fire and get burned. Amma, Bhagavan's power is so much. So much of delay had happened only because we did not know that you were here. Now that Bhagavan knows, we all know that you are here. Very soon Bhagavan is going to come along with the mighty army of monkeys, and all these Rakshasas will be killed, and Amma, you will be taken back." So then Sita Mata looked at Hanumanji. What is the size of Hanuman? Mosquito. Now this mosquito-sized monkey is saying, Bhagavan will come with monkeys and then kill all these Rakshasas. So Sita Mata looked at him and said, "Hey Sut kapi sab tumai samana?" All monkeys are like you only. You don't know these Rakshasas. Jatudhan ati bhat balavana. They are huge, monstrous, powerful. More hridaya parama sandeha. I strongly doubt. I can't trust you. And then Hanumanji had no other choice. You see, he had to win the trust of Sita Mata, and he became huge. Kanaka bhudhara kar sarira samara bhayankara atibalabira. He became huge. So then you can imagine what happened to Sita Mata. She was just looking, and this man is growing. With awe, with wonder, Sita Mata was looking at Hanumanji. And she felt, yes, what he's saying is true. But you know what Hanumanji did? Immediately, Punila Guru Pavana Sutalayavu, immediately he became small. Because the way Sita Mata was looking at him, it appeared as though she was filled with awe and wonder and appreciation. Oh my God! Immediately he became small. And you know what he said? Sunu Mata, Sakha Mrga, Nahi Bala Buddhi Pisal. Oh mother, we are just monkeys, Shakha Mrgam. jumping from one branch to another, that's all we know. Buddhi, bala, nothing is there. It is only by the grace of God that whatever you have seen, it's all grace of God, not mine. You see how alert Hanumanji was. Prabhu Pratap te Garudahi Khai Paramalakhubyal. By grace of God, anything can happen. The so-called Garuda. For Garuda, what is the food? Snake is the food. But by grace of God, it is possible that Garuda can become the food of the snakes. That is Bhagwan's grace. Anything can happen. So in the same way, O Mother, here also the same thing. Bala Buddhi doesn't belong to me. It's all Bhagwan's grace. So you see how much Hanumanji was alert. Whenever there was some praise, some recognition, he was not enjoying it. Immediately he became alert. Because who is our greatest enemy? The ego. You see, immediately he became so. Oh, Mother, please don't misunderstand. It is not my strength. It is all his. And when Sita Mata saw this, she was clean bold. Here is a monkey. Not only is an embodiment of strength, he is an embodiment of wisdom at the same time. Most important, what is it? Embodiment of humility, embodiment of devotion, embodiment of surrender, embodiment of gratitude. Bas. And then Sita Mata was so happy with him, she felt, I must bless him. Man santosh sunat kapibani, bhagati pratap tej balasani. These words were filled with glory, strength, might, at the same time, devotion, humility. And then Sita Mata thought, I must bless him. Asisha Dini Rama Priyajana, knowing him to be a great devotee of Bhagavan. Now Sita Mata is blessing Hanumanji. O Tat, O my dear son. O Tat Bala Sila Nidhana. May you become an abode of Bala, strength. Was Hanumanji happy? No. Okay, may you become an abode of character. May you have a sterling character. Seal. Was Hanumanji happy? No. Ajar. May you never become old. Was he happy? No. Amara. May you never die. May you become immortal. Was he happy? No. Gunanidhi. May you become an abode of all noble virtues. No effect. Then finally, Sita Mata said, Karahu bahut raghunayak chohu. May Bhagavan's love and affection shower upon you. May Bhagavan love you immensely. That was when Hanumanji became really happy. Hearing this, Karahu kripa prabhu asa sune kana. The moment Hanumanji heard this, that Bhagavan's grace and blessings will be showered upon me, his love and affection will be there, he will be pleased with me. Nirbhara prema magana Hanumana. So till now Sita Mata was absorbed in devotion for God. Now Hanumanji lost body consciousness. Nirbhara prema. His heart was filled with devotion for Bhagavan. Then, bar na esi pada Sisa. Again and again, Hanumanji prostrated in front of Sita Mata. Bola bachana jori kar Sisa. And then he spoke these words with folded palms. Abakrita kritya bhayam me mata. Oh mother, now I am totally fulfilled. This is what actually wanted from you. Because asisha tava amogha bhigyata, because this blessing of yours can never be in vain. Because you are mother of the universe. If you have blessed it, definitely I am going to get. And this is exactly what I wanted. Devotion at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. So now Hanumanji's job is over. Suddenly he remembers one thing. What is that? Sunahu matu mohi atisaya bhukha. I am hungry. See, so many days he has never even thought of food. He has never even thought of rest, sleep. Once everything is done, suddenly comes his body consciousness. He has not eaten anything. Oh mother, I am very hungry now. And it's a very strange thing. Whenever you see your mother, you think of food. And whenever the mother sees the child, she also thinks of food only. First question is, have you eaten something? A very strange relationship it is. Sunahu mat mohi atisaya bhukha. I am very hungry. Lagi dekhi sundar phalarukha. So, Amma, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to cook and all that. I am seeing so many wonderful, juicy, sweet fruits hanging. Oh mother, may I have the permission to eat these fruits? Then Sita Mata said, Sunasuta karahi bipin rakhwari. There are so many Rakshasas, Danavas who are guarding this. Parama subhat rajani charabhari. They are huge, very powerful ones who are protecting this, guarding this thing. Hanumanji said, Amma, I am not scared of them. Tinkar bhaya mata mohinahi. I don't have any fear of them. Jo tuma sukh manahu manumahi. You have to give permission. That's all what I need. You just say yes. That's enough. I am not scared of these. But now Sita Mata also had understood that this monkey is not an ordinary monkey. He is an embodiment of knowledge, wisdom, strength. Dekhi buddhi bala nipuna kapi kahe janaki jaho. Raghupati charana hridaya dhari tat madura phala khau. Hanuman, keep, oh my dear son, tat is the term used, oh my dear son. Hold on to Bhagavan's lotus feet, ever remember him, and then go. Eat to your fill. Now, Hanumanji gets the permission from Sita Mata to eat these fruits. But just eating fruit alone was not his. There was some hidden agenda also. Cheleu nai siru peteu baga. Phalaka esitaru tore laga. So what did he do? He went, Amma, okay, I will not eat from here. I will just go other side. So he went to the other side of Ashokavana, so that Sita Mata will not be disturbed. A lot of hidden agenda was also there, not just eating fruit. So he went to the other side of this forest. And there, first he ate properly. After that, he started uprooting the trees. So naturally, a lot of noise. All the guards came. What is this happening? Rehe taha bahu bhat rakhware, kachu mare se kachu jai pukare. So these guards immediately interfered. They saw this monkey doing all this. They interfered. They tried to stop him. And there was this fight. Hanumanji in no time beat them. He did not kill everyone. Deliberately, he kept some of them, left some of them injured. So those fellows, they went and informed. Nath ek ava kapi bhari. They all went to Ravana. Oh Lord, one huge monkey has come and he is destroying all this Ashoka Vatika. Khaye se phal ar bitapu upari. He is eating fruit and he is uprooting these trees. Rechak mardi mahidare. The way he's killing these, some of them are rubbed and killed. Some of them are squeezed and killed. This is the way Hanumanji was killing all these Rakshasas. Mashaki krita Rakshasam, there is a term. Just like how we kill mosquitoes, in the same way Hanumanji was killing all these Rakshasas. That was a kind of power he had. So this is the way he is killing. Suni Ravan pataye bhatanana, tinahi dekhi garjev Hanumana. Again another big army was sent. So when this complaint went, Ravana sends another huge army in order to conquer this, not conquer, rather kill this monkey. But again, everyone was killed, few of them were left. They again went and said that this monkey is no ordinary monkey. And finally Ravana sends his own son. What is his name? Akshay Kumar. Puni patayahu tehi Akshay Kumara chala sangalai subhat apara. With a bigger army, Akshay Kumar. I think he was the youngest son of Ravana. He goes there with a bigger army. Avat dekhi bitab kahi gartarja tahi nipati mahaduni garja. So every time he sees a bigger army, Hanumanji's roar would increase. His excitement would increase. His enthusiasm would increase. He would become more happy seeing a bigger army. And what did he do? Finally, he just uprooted one tree and smashed him. Akshay Kumar was over. Kachu maresi, kachu mardesi, kachu milesi, dhari dhuri. Different ways he was killing Rakshasas. Some he smashed and killed them. Some he squeezed and killed them. Pounded and killed them. Rubbed against floor and killed them. Rubbed against his own body and killed them. Different ways. And then these monkeys again went and informed Ravana. Oh Lord, this monkey is no ordinary monkey. Unfortunate, your son is no more. At this time Ravana understood. This monkey is no ordinary monkey. He calls Indrajit. What is his another name? Meghnath. He said, son, this time go. I am sure you will succeed. But what you have to do is, I don't want you to kill him. You have to bring him alive. Tie him down and bring him alive. Because I see he is only a, he is not the master. We want to know who is the master behind him. So therefore, in order to take out all secrets, we need him alive. Go. So now this Meghnath, his story is also interesting. So it is said about this birth of Meghnath. It is said that Ravana wanted a warrior who was immensely strong, the strongest one in this world. So what did he do? So he was the conqueror of three worlds. So he called all these, stars, what do you call that? Nakshatra, all these planets. He himself was a great astrologer. So he found out what is that particular position where when a child is born, he will become the most powerful person. So he calculated where Shani, Rahu, Ketu, whatever, these planets should be positioned. And then he called all these planets and said, you have to be in this position. You dare not move from here. And everybody was scared, all these devatas. So it is said, when Meghnath was going to be born, these planets were exactly according to Ravana's order. And that is how this Meghnath became the most powerful person. His another name is, his name Meghnath. Megha means what? Cloud. Nath means thunder. So it is said that, see, normal child, when it comes out crying. Whereas this Meghnath came out and he roared. So it appeared as though, it was like the thundering clouds. That's why his name Meghna. Another name is Indrajit, the one who conquered even Indra. So all these stories are there about Meghna. So very, very powerful person. So finally, Ravana sends Meghnath. So now Meghnath comes with a bigger army. Hanumanji was seated on the top of the tree, waiting. He knew that another batch will come. So, then what happened? Meghnath comes. And when Meghnath comes, Hanumanji uproots a huge tree. Now, Meghnath is coming with his chariot and all that. He uproots a huge tree and smashes him. Meghnath jumps out of his chariot. His chariot was smashed into powder. He became chariotless. And then there was this, what do you call that? Dvandva Yuddha. What do you call it? Duel. There was this fight. And it appeared as though two lordly elephants were fighting with each other. And then what Hanumanji does is he gives a solid blow to Indrajit. The power of that blow was so intense that Meghnath falls down unconscious. In fact, Hanumanji could have killed him right there, but he doesn't do that. Instead, he goes and climbs the tree and sits there. Waits for him to wake up. So after some time. So according to the boxing rules, it is over. Knockout. But then he wakes up again. And he looks around and he finds that Hanumanji is seated there. And now these are all Mayavis. They had varieties of, astras, and they can create so many illusions. Everything he tries upon Hanumanji, but nothing was working. Finally, he had no other option but to use the most powerful weapon. What is that? Brahmastra. And he was extremely ashamed that just for the sake of a monkey, he had to waste the most powerful weapon. He was so sad. And then he fixes Brahmastra and shoots. Then what happens? We'll see tomorrow. Now there is a dialogue between, that will come tomorrow actually. Hanumanji and Ravana. So tomorrow our session will be at 10:30. Okay, 10:30 to 12. Yes. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raj Nij Mana Mukuta Sudhari Bharanaur Raghubara Bimal Jaso Jodayako Palachari Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumirau Pavana Kumar Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesa Bikar Jai Hanuman Gyan Guna Sagar Jai Kapi Satihu Loka Uja Ramadota Atulita Baladhama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama Mahabhira Vikram Bajrangi Kanchana Barana Biraj Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Hatha Vajra Aur Dhwaja Biraje Kandhe Munj Janeyu Saje Sankata Suvana Kesari Nandana Tej Pratapa Mahajaga विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवार लाय सजीवन लखन जियाय श्री रघुबीर हर्षि उर लाए बहुत बढ़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम्हरो जस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहांते कभी कोबित कह सके कहांते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाए राजपद दीन्हा तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कापे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जोला सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पा चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियार साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलार अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी मात राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाय जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त और देवता चित्त न धरे हनुमत से सर्व सुख करे संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाय जो सत बार पाठ कर कोय छोट ही बंदी महासुख होय यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरिचेर की जय नाथ हृदय महडेर की जय नाथ हृदय महडेर पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।